Hello and welcome back to the caves, everybody. Welcome back to Deep Rock Galactic, where today we got some new news about Rogue Core coming out, and we got an entire new trailer, as well as a Q&A from Mike and Mickle, going over some more of the things, as well as they did reveal more in this trailer too. So if you haven't seen that, you've only seen the release trailer, definitely check out the other one too, because there's even more surprises hidden in there. So the main reason why this was put out is because we do have confirmation now that Rogue Core is going to be out pretty soon. It's going to be in kind of the early testing phases of a closed alpha, so you can sign up for that. That's available on Steam. Feel free to sign up for it. And then if you get chosen for it, you should get early access to it, so that is pretty cool. There's probably going to be a decent amount of people that sign up for this though, so keep that in mind. And it's not going to be open to absolutely everybody, but that shouldn't dissuade you from actually like trying to put in for it, because Rogue Core is really cool. It's also quite a bit different from Deep Rock, and we get to see quite a bit of that going on in this trailer, where we get to see a way of them actually opening up this core to start out with and going in. We get to see more of the reclaimers, and we get to see even more of the stuff that they've put in the game. So I got to play the very earliest version of Rogue Core last year when I was in Denmark visiting Ghost Ship, but it definitely did not look or play the way that it seems to in this trailer or in the footage that we've seen. We got to play a very early version of it that was not complete by any means, but it's really cool to see everything here. One thing that's going to make Rogue Core very interesting is that this is going to be a roguelike game, but it's going to be a co-op roguelike game that more focuses on the team play aspect of it. So you kind of want to build the whole team all at once rather than trying to just build for yourself. Now, theoretically, you could just try to pump one person for doing kind of like all the damage, but you could have a whole team set up where it's like one person is pumping all for damage, one person is pumping all for helping out the team, one person can do this, one person can do that. So I think it's going to be pretty cool, as well as pretty much every match is going to be probably pretty different from one another. You're probably not going to get the same exact build twice in a row or anything like that. Maybe twice in one day if you play it quite a bit, but it's hard to say. As well as we got more looks at the reclaimers themselves, which is pretty awesome. They do look pretty great, as well as we got to see some of their abilities. Like we got to see the slicer slashing some of the things. We got to see the repulsor gauntlet that we kind of seen in the April Fool's Day trailer that was sort of teased. There was quite a bit of stuff that was teased in that one as well as we've seen some of the other abilities there too. And we got to see some more of the guns. Now there is already some existing guns that you're definitely going to recognize here if you play Deep Rock, where we've got things like Stubby in here. We've got like the GK2. I think we also seen the flamethrower in here. We also got to see one gun teased in this that seems pretty interesting, and that is this one here, the P96 Mag Blaster. Now, I don't know what this is. I think this one was also teased in the April Fool's Day trailer, but I have no idea what it is or how it works, because I've never seen this thing before. It looks really cool. It actually looks a little bit similar to the Warthog, at least in this, because it's put right next to it. That's the first one that I think of. But you can also see how these weapons will change too whenever you pick them. So you can see down below where something like the Drat Carbine, at least on this screenshot, has 30% more damage, but worse recoil, a higher rate of fire, and more weak spot damage. That's not going to be the same every single time, as you can also see that with something like the Warthog, where it has increased reload speed. So picking different weapons here is going to be quite a bit different than it is in Deep Rock, where you kind of already pick everything that you want and build it the way that you want. In this, you're probably going to have to kind of scrounge together what you can get, and that's pretty cool. I do like that. A lot of roguelike games have this aspect to them, where you're not really going to have the same build. I think a good way to kind of look at this would be something like Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, where you can go with something like the minigun, and the minigun kind of functions the same way on every run, where it fires directly in front of you, but it doesn't really work the same way every single run. It can be substantially better or worse. If this is your starting weapon, you get like 30 plus upgrades onto it, it's probably going to do a lot of damage. But if you get it as like your last weapon, you get like 3 upgrades for it, it may not actually seem all that crazy. So that's not to say that this is going to work the same way as Deep Rock Galactic Survivor by any means. Another thing that should be mentioned about the new Rogue Core stuff is that the music sounds absolutely fantastic. I am really looking forward to listening to the whole soundtrack as we go. Deep Rock's music is fantastic, but this sounds quite a bit different, and as you can also tell by the trailers, this is more going to be tapping into kind of the horror aspect of Deep Rock, where Deep Rock kind of always had that. There's a lot of sci-fi horror references in Deep Rock, both in terms of like the music, where I know particularly one of the music sounds just like the Thing's music, so that's fantastic, which would be very cool to see. I am definitely looking forward to trying out some more Rogue Core. I had a lot of fun last year when I first got to play it, and I've been wanting to talk about a lot of this stuff for a while, but not all of it has been released, and they still haven't shown everything that's in here that I've seen. In particular, one of my favorite weapon inspect animations It is kind of teased in the trailer. I won't say on which weapon. So a very interesting trailer to say the least. And I am very hyped about Rogue Core and getting to play it a lot more. So tell me your thoughts on Rogue Core. Be sure to sign up for it over on Steam as well. That way you might get access to it. And I hope you guys are looking forward to it because this is going to be something that's kind of similar to Deep Rock, but definitely its own thing. So thank you guys so very much for watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.